Hey guys, Nurse D, Portia here. I have such a special video today. And so if you're new to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. We talk about all things nursing, health, and finances on this channel. And today we're going to get into nursing. I have a special guest, somebody who is very close, sat right next to me during this RN program. And so we're going to get into all of her journey. I'm super excited. So without further ado, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Teresa Bryant. I live in Echo, Georgia, so a small area. I'm just south of Perry in Houston County, Georgia. I have been working in the medical field for many, many years, starting in the early 90s as a CNA and then eventually went to LPN school and then to RN schools.
Before we get into all of that, tell us something that you love about nursing right now.
For me, just being in the nursing field is taking care of elderly, disabled. That's just something I have a passion for.
Did you know at a young age that you would go into nursing, or did it kind of develop after you became a CNA?
Actually, a licensed cosmetology. And
Really?
that is how I actually got into the nursing field. Someone actually asked me to come into the nursing home, which I was terrified, to ask me to come into the nursing home to do the hair for the African American patients because they didn't have anybody to come in to do their hair.
Okay.
Yeah. So once I got in and started having those conversations and I really started enjoying myself and listening to them talk, that wisdom, it was just so exciting. And I just knew that I wanted to do more. So
that's awesome. So you started in cosmetology.
Yes.
It's really dope. Yes. Wow. So did you go to school for that?
I did.
Cosmetology? You did? Okay. Yes. How long was that program?
That program was a year. And I did that like right out of high school, which I graduated in 84. So I went right into cosmetology in 85, did hair for probably about 10 years. And then I was doing a little bit of CNA and still doing hair. And then, like I said, that's when my journey started, where I said, well, I need to do something better. That's when I stepped into the LPN road to go to school.
So you went and did cosmetology first, and then you became a CNA?
Yes.
Wow. Yes. Okay. And then you decided, okay, I need something better, like more stable or more money.
It was more for the money.
That makes sense.
Because I have told people several times just over the years that I really enjoyed the CNA work. If the pay would have been better at that time, I can almost guarantee you that I probably would have been stuck there a whole lot longer. So it was really more for the money. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my husband actually he was a CNA for, I think it was about 5 years, and he loved it too. He still talk about his patients as a CNA. Yeah. And I was like, I wish that he would have continued on and became a nurse, but he ended up going and getting his truck driving license, the CDL, and going down that path. But he really had a heart for it. So tell us, when you went into your journey as an LPN, tell us about what school you went to, how old you were at that time, where you worked as an LPN, just that whole journey.
So LPN, I started school. I had actually moved from the state of Georgia to Indiana. And while I was in Indiana, I actually got my medical coding degree. And then we moved back to Georgia. And so I immediately just went into the nursing program. So I had so many classes that transferred from medical coding. So I actually only did LPN school for about 1 year because I had so many classes to transfer. So I started in 2003.
2003. How old were you then?
I was 37 when I started.
Okay.
I was 37 when I started, and around about third quarter of nursing LPN school, I found I was pregnant. I was 38, and so I was just like a little bit like, oh my God, 38 years old. I'm in the LPN school. My youngest child at that time was going on 12.
Wow.
Yeah, but I went to Middle Georgia Technical College, which is in Warner Robins, and they've since changed the name to Central Georgia Tech. But like I said, I did that
Oh,
1 year. Yeah. And
I went to
so
that school too, Middle Georgia.
Central Georgia. Hey, okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, I went there when it was
Yes,
Middle Georgia, but I went to the Eastman campus for the aviation program there.
it's been quite a while. So I actually
Yeah.
had my son a month or so before I graduated, maybe about 2 months because he was actually at my graduation. But my first job after finishing LPN school was at Summer Hill Nursing Home in Perry.
Well,
Um,
let's talk about, you said your son was, you had him during the nursing program and he was two
I
months.
did.
How
Yeah,
was
he was
that?
2 months old once at my graduation.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
So tell me what your support system was like. Did you have people helping you? You know, what resources did you have at that time?
I did. I was actually married at the time. And
Okay.
I was actually like working nights at a nursing home in Fort Valley, still working as a CNA. So,
Okay.
I would come, yeah, get off, get some rest and go to my classes. It really wasn't, I've always been a big reader. I think that has been the
Okay.
biggest thing for me. I just enjoy reading anything. So
So you work full
that was a big,
time. Yeah. So you work full time as a CNA while you were working on, wow, just working the night shifts.
my, yes, working
Yeah.
night shift.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. While you were pregnant
Yeah.
and when your son was 2 months, that's when you graduated from nursing school. So the entire
Yes.
program was you pregnant. Ooh, wee. Yes. That's powerful. So you
Okay.
graduated, your son was 2 months. Where did you work as an LPN?
Started out at Summer Hill Nursing Home, and really and truly the pay was like $13 an hour. But I was
13.
excited about that because being a CNA,
Well,
yes,
what year was
yes,
that?
but that was like, oh my, that was 2005,
2005.
2005,
Okay.
yeah, 2000,
They started you at $13. Did you go up?
$13. But and
Wow.
so I but because of the fact that I had such a long history, with CNA, I had another job offered like in 6 months. And then, so they offered
Right.
me $3 more an hour. So I just moved to that
Okay.
job. And so as a director of nursing, she moved to another job and she convinced me to go with her. So my pay just continued to like climb, climb, climb.
Okay, by moving
So
around, huh?
by moving around,
Moving
yes.
around.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's what I say all the time because I don't think it's hard to get a raise at like the job that you're currently at. Like if you go to them and you want more, that's a really hard thing. But if you move to another company, you're more likely to get more
Yes.
money that way. So I I love that you
Yes.
did that. I really love that. So your son is 2 months. You start working as an LPN. What made you want to go back and get your RN? That made you want to
Well,
pursue that program?
yeah. So just working in the medical field itself, then I had that goal. I said, I want to be a director of nursing.
Okay.
So, and I knew that the only way I could do that was that I had to go back to school to get my RN.
Mhm.
I just felt like because I was so caring and compassionate, I just felt like as a director of nursing that if I could just get into that role, that I could, be an inspiration to other people to be caring and compassionate well, where we can build a team,
Yeah,
to really care for the elderly and disabled, because you work in this field, not everybody is caring and not everybody in the nursing field is caring.
that's
So,
right.
I've worked with yeah, you work with some really good nurses, some not just nursing staff, period. So, you just want to build that team of caring, compassionate nursing staff to make sure that the patients receive the best possible care. So
If you could change one thing about the nursing field right now, what would that be?
I guess the one thing would be, because I know that the nursing staff, period, they work so hard. I would like for everybody to get paid what they're worth. They work so hard.
So hard.
And And especially CNAs, they are so underpaid, really and
Yes,
truly, because they
it's
they
true.
do the majority of the work there in the field, but they are
Mhm.
not really being paid for what they're worth. So, and COVID showed a lot of that.
Yeah,
So,
because like where that money
but I
come
have
from?
seen some changes though.
They were
Yeah,
offering rates. It's like where that
I have
come from? So
seen some changes.
so you
Right,
can really pay us
right. How
this
can you pay
amount.
this
Okay,
agent?
got you.
Yeah.
Yes.
How can you pay this agency nurse $15 more an hour than me? And I've been working with you
Like,
for 7 years,
make it
but
make sense.
yeah,
Right, right.
yeah.
I agree. I agree. So I love that you said that you feel we need to be paid more. Do you think that is like, is it across the board? Do you think in the hospitals too, or do you mostly see that in the nursing homes?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't really speak on it because I've really pretty much just been a long-term care nurse.
Okay.
Um, I've done some case management. I have no idea about the hospital, none whatsoever.
Mhm.
Never worked in a hospital, never had a desire to work in a hospital.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just know I just know that caring for the people in the nursing home is it's hard work. Because not only are you trying to take care of those patients, you have to deal with those families who's dissatisfied. No matter what, you got families that's never satisfied. So it's just a lot of hard work.
It is. It is. I agree with you. I definitely think that nursing homes, I think that hospitals, I think that everywhere, really across the board, should be paid more. I think that we need safe patient to nurse ratios. You know what I
Right,
mean? I think
right.
that that needs to
Yeah,
happen. I don't know where we could advocate for change in these areas because I kind of feel like we would need unions and different things in order to get that. Because, like, for example, in California, they say that they work safe ratios, but they have unions there that's fighting for that and advocating for them
yeah,
for that change, and they're being paid fairly, but they have unions that's advocating. But nowhere else really have unions that's advocating and trying to bring about that change. So I don't know how it will happen unless that is to happen. How long were you an LPN before deciding to become an RN?
15 years.
15
Yeah, so I was in
years.
LPN for 15 years.
15
15
years.
years.
So what after 15
Yep.
years, what was the last straw and you were like, no, I'm about to do this. I'm going back and I'm going to get my registered nursing license. Like what was that last thing?
By this time, my oldest daughter had become an LPN. And so she had actually talked to me like several years before that, probably around my 7th year being an LPN. She decided she was going to go back and get her RN. It's just like, well, mama, come on, we can do this together.
Yeah.
So we actually went to the school. We actually went to the school to do our RN. I'll be in the state university. And
Okay.
and at that time I came home, yeah, and she started, and then I was just like, I don't want to do it right now. For me, long term, it was just really the pay now by this time with LP. And that was just the final straw. If I want to,
Okay.
if I want to get financially stable, I have got to do better. And so that was my main goal, my main reason for going back. Yeah.
So then you decided, okay, I'm going back. It's been 15 years. You were older now. So at what age did you start this program, the RN program?
I was 53. No, 53 when I
50,
finished. Yeah, I think maybe 50, maybe about 50. Because
50,
I took,
some of the prereq
yeah,
classes and
49,
all that
50.
still need classes. Yeah. So
Yes.
about 50. That's
Yeah.
amazing because
Maybe about
I
50.
get so many DMs like people may be in their 40s, they may be in their 50s, and they're just like, is it too late for me? So for those nurses that are feeling like, is it too late? What would you say to those nurses that may be feeling like that?
I would just tell them this. It's never too late.
It's
It
never
is
too
never
late.
too late. It's never too late. I mean, as long as you still got that breath in you, as long as you're able to do the work, I mean, it's never too late. Only thing I would just say is just make sure that nursing is something that you really want to do. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, so you gotta understand that there's going to be some times when, family things you're not going to be able to attend, fun things that you're not going to be
Yes.
able to attend, but you got to look at the long-term goals of this is something that I'm looking forward to. And I mean, even for me, it was my children and grandchildren were so excited, to
I
know
know
that
they were.
I was
I'm
going
getting
back to school.
chills just hearing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's truly amazing that you were like,
Yeah.
I'm about to do this. And not only did you do it, I won't get to the ending part because I really want you to share how well you did it. But you sat right next to me, and I don't think I ever mentioned this to you before, but you were such an inspiration to me because there was times that I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this because I was working. This is the first program that I worked through while working and going to school at the same time. Because for the LPN, I didn't go to work. I just did the LPN program. But for this LPN to RN bridge program, I worked full time. I had young kids, and then also, doing the program. And even though it was one day a week, it still was a lot. It still was a
Yes,
lot
it
because
was.
every day that you're not in the program, you're studying. You know what I mean? You're working on different things. So it was a lot. But sitting next to you and seeing you show up
It was
every
a
week
lot.
after week, I was like, okay, we got it. We got it. We can do it. We're gonna get through it. And we
We got
sure
it.
enough
We got it.
did. So, okay, tell
We did
me,
it.
what was the hardest part of the program for you? Like, what was the most difficult thing? Rather it be taking care of the kids? Was it that it was harder to study? Did you see a difference between like being able to remember things for the RN versus the LPN? What was the most difficult part for you?
I think the most difficult part for me was because at this time I had 4 children, but three of my children were already grown and out of the house. So I told you about I had
Okay.
that baby late, and so it was
Mhm.
my son. It was my last son being at home, and I think the biggest thing was I missed a lot of school activity things for him. I missed his sporting activity. He running track. Um, my work, my job, and the study time. I mean, I just figured like this is something I got to do. I was working at a case manager then, so that job was very flexible. I had a great supervisor who worked with me, so I didn't even have to worry about whenever I needed to be in for school. So I knew that I had to study. So I mean, I would stay up to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning to do what I had to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So,
I'm sure you know about those 2 and 3 o'clock.
oh, I know
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. I was in the library,
Yeah.
at home. I was in the grocery store on my app studying because for me, I felt like it was a little bit different from the LPN program because I felt like my brain couldn't remember all of the information, as well this time around. Because I put in the work, sometimes up to 10 hours studying, just making sure that
Yeah.
I'm getting it, I'm
Yeah.
understanding the disease process, all of the things, what to look for, all of that. So yeah, I definitely understand that.
You have to really get into a mindset of how you're going to study. You got to figure out what works best for you because I know that, I would take notes. I couldn't just read from a book. I knew I had to take notes because once I
Mhm.
had written something down, it stick better for me. It
Yeah,
stuck better for me, like whenever I actually wrote something down. So you just have to find that learning style.
I had to do all of it. I had to hear it, see it, write it, say it. I had to do all of them for just this. Lord. That's what I'm like now because people keep asking, are you gonna go back and get your MP? I'm like, no, I'm done. Like, that was torture. No, I'm good. So let me ask you this, because I know you said it was you had your challenges. Was there any fear? Did you ever were you ever feel fearful or maybe doubtful of going back that maybe this wouldn't happen for you? Did you ever have those type of thoughts?
I
Or were you pretty
did.
much
I
like,
mean, basically in the beginning when I was trying to apply to get into the program, when I had to take that TEAS
mm,
exam and
yes,
and I was like freaking out because I was like, I'd never be able to pass this test.
that's
That's
so
when the
funny.
encouragement came. came from my children. My children were
Yeah.
just like, Mama, you can do this. You can do this. So, I just
Yeah.
found all these materials and different resources, to help me get prepared for this teas. And I went back and I said, okay, I'm got to do what I got to do. And so I eventually passed the teas. And so, yeah, there were some doubts.
I had to take the T's twice. It's so funny that the fear came in the very beginning, like
Beginning,
of the
yeah.
program. Yeah. So it was with T's. And I think that's a
It
lot of
was,
people's
yes,
fear.
after I passed that teas, I was just like, okay,
You're like, okay, I'm good.
I can't even remember. I can't even remember what the score was. All I know, they told me I passed.
That's it. Well, that was all I needed to hear. I don't care if it was 1
Yeah.
point over. If I passed, I'm good. Or right at the Y. I know that we went through this program together. We went through the craziness of the program and all of the challenges,
Yes,
the highs and the lows and everything, but we made it to the end. But not only did you make it, you made it with honors.
I did.
You graduated with
I
honors.
did.
Tell us about
Yes,
that.
and I was on the dean's list like every semester, honor student, and on the day of the graduation ceremony, I would have never ever dreamed, and they presented for the first time the outstanding clinical award, and then that was awarded to me. So, but I studied. I really did. I studied hard. I
You
worked
put in the
hard.
work.
I mean, there were so many because I was looking around at each and every last one of you, Christy, and I was just like, this who's going to get this outstanding clinical award, because everybody, there was so many of us who really,
Yeah.
really deserved it. All of us worked hard, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Wow.
a wonderful day. That was a great day for me.
I
That
bet.
was a great day
And
for
all your
me.
family, everybody got to see you get that award. That's just, it's such a powerful moment. So I'm really grateful for
Yes.
that for you. And I know that had to feel amazing to not only get through the program and defy all the odds and everything stacked against you, you really got through with honors. You made the dean's list every semester. So that's amazing. So congratulations again for that. So tell us right now where you're working at as an RN and where you see yourself going maybe in the next 5 years or so.
Well, right now I am working in corrections. So I am at the Dooley State Prison. And this is just a different experience for me. Like I say, I wanted to step out and do something a little different because long-term care has really been my, niche. That's where I've been, but I wanted to try something a little bit different. And corrections has been different, but I can just see even in just a year's time. So that's why I say you got to find your niche when you get into this nursing field. That the safeness and it's totally different from even a year ago. So right now I'm looking try to get back. I want to get back into long-term care. I don't feel like I really want to be in administration anymore. I want to just step back in and be more of a caregiver. So,
Oh,
I miss that bedside. Yeah, I miss that bedside, taking care of, having that direct care with that direct time with the
the
patient.
patient.
So that's what I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking at trying to get back into that.
So the next
Yep.
5 years, we could expect you to be back in the nursing homes, on the bedside, loving on the patients that need it the most. Just giving them that
That's where I'll
love.
probably
I
be.
love that. I
That's where I
love
would
that.
probably be.
Yeah.
That's
So,
where I'll probably be.
yeah. Any plans to go back to school?
No.
No? You sound like me. I'm like,
Well, I did get the information to go back because I stopped once I got my associates. So I do have the information to go back to get my bachelor's. I haven't really just sat down and just looked at everything to say, to make a confirmation to say this is what I'm gonna do, but I am looking into it.
Okay.
But I know most definitely that I don't, it's not something it's not like I'm looking for going into my master's. I mean, a bachelor's degree, because there's a couple of jobs that I have seen that they said it, they prefer bachelor. So
Okay.
I may consider it.
So we may keep pursuing towards bachelor's later. You haven't made up your mind quite yet. That's the beauty of nursing. I think that pretty much most positions only require a registered nursing license. It could be
Yes.
associate level. You know what I mean? Like you said, bachelor's is preferred. It's not mandatory for a lot of the
Yeah.
roles.
Right.
So I love that we have that option if we want to or not. You can still work so many places. You can go into business and do entrepreneur goals and all the entrepreneurship goals
Right.
and all of the things. So I love that. During your journey through nursing, LPN, RN, and all of the things, did you use the grants, scholarships, and all of those things that was offered, or did you pay out of pocket? Did you get loans? What did you use to get through these programs?
So now with the LPN program, I did receive, I received Pell Grant. So I pretty much finished LPN school with no
Right.
loans. It was
Nice.
debt free. Yeah.
Okay.
RN, I did get some, I guess I did get some Pell Grants. Now that's one thing that I will truly tell anybody who's decided that they really need to look into more grants and scholarships or whatever
Okay.
they can, because right now I am paying some pretty hefty student loans off, trying to pay them
Good
off.
enough.
So so
Okay.
I would encourage anybody to make sure they do research and make sure they talk to somebody who can help
Mhm.
them make sure that they can at least finish
Select
school with.
everything. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then there's another thing that if
That's one
once
thing.
you
That's one thing
finish,
I didn't do.
yeah. But even with if you finish and you do currently have student loan debt, there is a program through HRSA. They do a loan repayment program. So it works like the scholarship that they offer, in which you have to work for like a facility or a hospital or wherever that serves the underserved community for like a year or
Hmm.
two. And then they pay up to 85% of your loan. So that's something to look
Okay.
into. Yeah, that's something to look into as well. And then they have a scholarship where they pay 100% of the tuition cost and give you up to a $3,000 a month stipend. So I'm going to send you the information personally, but I'll also put it in the description of
Okay.
this video, because with this particular program, they're only open like, several times a year. It's not like you can apply all the time. They open up for people to apply, and then they get all of the applicants, and then they decide based on, needs and all of the things and where you're working and all that, if you qualify. But in the meantime, what you can do is there's a search system where you can go in and you can plug in your actual job name, and you can find out if that is considered an underserved community area or somewhere that you're looking to work for
Okay.
in the future. So then you'll already know that they have that benefit that you can access once you start working for them. So I'm going to send you all the information. I'm going to put the link in the description. What I recommend doing is going to this website, signing up for their email list. You subscribe to them, and then they will email you once these applications are open to apply.
Okay.
So that's really,
Okay.
really good.
Sounds good. That sounds good.
Yes. So I know people watching this who have been inspired by you in this interview. Or they may have questions for you or want to connect with you. If you're open to that, do you have any social medias that they can follow you or look at your page anywhere?
Well, I am on Facebook.
Facebook.
Um, I'm not a big social media person.
Okay.
Name on Facebook, it's
Hmm.
my name,
Okay,
Teresa
Teresa
Bryant.
Ryan. And then I'll put a picture here in
Yes,
this video.
that's T.
Okay. Now, do
That's
you
my name.
have any books, maybe ebooks, or do you do mentorship or anything like that for anybody who may want
I
that?
I don't. It would be something that I would be willing to talk about, because even during my process of when I told you that when I worked in a nursing home as a director of nursing, I talked to so many CNAs while I was there. When I was there as director of nursing, I talked to so many CNAs, you know, I was just like, you know, how long are you planning on doing this? Because you know that you need to go back to, no, you need to go ahead and go to LPN school. Don't wait until you're 50. And so I had several of the CNAs who have went to LPN school and have completed
That's
LPN school.
awesome. That is really good. So you inspired them.
Yeah, so
That's
I make it a
amazing.
point. Yeah, I make it a point to try to talk to the younger generation to tell them, you know, it's okay to be a CNA, but if you really love what you're doing, just go ahead and go out there and you know, move forward.
Climb
Move
up,
forward.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was thinking of doing that, going to nursing homes and kind of talking to the CNAs about different programs and things like that. Do you think that'd be something they'll be interested in?
I think so.
You think so? And then just kind of help
Mhm.
them navigate how to do that for free, like get all of these
And
grants, these scholarships. Yeah,
that's gonna be a great deal. That would be a great resource for a whole lot of them. It's just the fact that they're gonna need to know, like, someone to give them that guidance and say, you can do this, and you know, this is what you can do where you don't have to pay, or you know, I
yeah.
think that would make a big difference. I think
Well,
that
let
would
me
make
ask
a
you
big difference.
this. Does the nursing homes offer any type of like school reimbursements or anything for school?
Well,
Or
there are some that advertise. I don't. I know for like LPNs to RNs, they have like some kind of educational program, but I'm not really sure
okay.
as far as like CNAs who are trying to become nurses.
Yeah. Okay. Because that may be a resource too. But I think I'm going to start doing that because I'm real passionate about that too. Because, like I said, my husband was a CNA for so many years, and I kept wanting him to go back and be a nurse. And I was like, go back and, you already doing it. You know so much, like you really care. You have the heart for it, do it. And I think that it was just fear a little bit and doubt, and so
Yeah,
he ended up going somewhere else, and he's, happy with where he is now. But for those who are experiencing that fear and that doubt, it might help to see somebody who looks like them and somebody who has actually done it. You know what I mean?
right.
So that's why I love that you are really encouraging them to go back. Thank you. Thank you for that. And thank
Yeah,
you for this interview. We're at the end.
you are so
But
welcome.
thank you. Thank you so much. I really think that your journey is going to inspire and help a lot of people who are like, ooh, am I too old? Can I still do this? To just hear your
You
journey is really
can.
going to inspire them on another level. So thank you so much for giving back to your nursing community and your nursing sisters and brothers out
Thank
there.
you so much.
I
Thank
appreciate
you so
and
much
love
for giving
you.
me an opportunity to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.